Ask Susan. Is it me, Susan?
No,
Not
not this
me.
time. You don't
Not
sound like
this
my
time.
mom on the phone.
Not this time. Okay, cool. There's that for confirmation. What's up, Stu?
I'm taking my vitamins, Jim. Taking
Sweet.
my
Are
vitamins.
you taking it with pickle juice?
Happy Wednesday. No, they're gummies. I about choked on one.
Oh, nice. Okay. So I figured you for a Flintstones chewable man, but okay, gummies. They got the CBD oil infused in them?
No, no,
Okay.
just regular multivitamins.
Okay. Well,
Vitamin D,
oh,
vitamin
wow.
D, good for you if you're not getting sun.
Yeah.
So,
Sweet. Well, we didn't do our podcast last week, and
no.
it's because I was down in the great state of FL, and that was exciting.
Yeah, I
I
love Florida.
was,
I
it
grew
was.
up there, Jim.
I know you
I
did.
am a Florida man.
Okay. Well, what does? Okay, I'm intrigued. What does it mean to be a Florida man?
Well, if you don't know, what you have to do is type in and go to Google,
Uh huh.
type in Florida man and your birthday,
Uh huh.
and that will tell you significant. Um, it's almost like a horoscope. It'll tell you significant things about yourself. So I'm gonna do like January 21st,
Uh huh.
Florida man,
Uh huh.
and usually you get um a great headline like this because on January 21st, this headline appeared in Florida. Florida man known as the Monkey Whisperer arrested for illegally selling primates. So that's you get a headline with Florida man in the title, and some of these are really funny.
That's pretty cool. How
Florida
much
man
time did you?
bust what?
How much time did you do for selling that primate?
Um, yeah, none. Florida man busted after tantrum about bacon. That's another January 21st headline. There's a ton of
Okay.
these. You got to do it.
I'm. It sounds like a genie, actually. Florida man genie. I will make that for you to
Oh,
just burn through every genie wish you have inside of copyandcontent.ai.
that's good
And
stuff.
and I'll even have it make a blog post about that. So I'm gonna research Florida man genie. So, speaking of Florida men,
Yes.
actually our guest here is not from Florida. Florida.
Mm-mm.
I think he's from up north.
He wishes he was from Florida. In fact, one of his statements that he said whenever he came to visit me in
Uh-huh.
North Florida, the
Uh-huh.
swamps of North Florida, he goes, "Man, Stu, I wish I was a redneck."
Really? Okay.
Yes. And
S-
and yes.
So that's why you and I get along so well, because you're from the swamps of Florida and I live in the swamps of Virginia.
I would think
Now,
so.
factoid, totally unrelated, but I haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks. This has nothing to do with anything. This is just me and Stu's talking here real quick.
Yes.
Dude, got the guys clearing the lot next door, right? I had them cut my fitness trail all the way through the back of both properties, and I've got about a quarter of a mile fitness trail now all through the woods that I can put up all those obstacles and
Obstacles.
stuff we were talking about.
Sweet.
How cool is that?
I
Okay,
love it.
back to the show. All right, so we have
So,
one of. Go
yeah.
ahead.
No, no, no. You go ahead and do the little brief intro here with
Okay.
Alden, and then I'll follow on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So about 6, 7, 8 years ago, I asked Stu, "Hey, Stu, do you know that dude that invented the perfect push-up and the perfect pull-up and a whole bunch of other stuff?" And he says, "Why, yes, Jim, I do know that dude. In
Well,
fact, he was the
quite
best
well.
man. He was the best man in my wedding." I said, "Cool. Could you introduce me to him?" He said, "Sure." Now this is weird because Alden told me about the same time he was asking you if you could introduce me to him. So
Yes.
when we did actually talk, I acted like it was him wanting to talk to me because, it's all about positioning.
Oh yeah.
But
Power.
this guy, exactly. So plus he was 3,000 miles away. So I could, act like, come on. Um,
Bring it.
so over the years, I've become buddies with Alden. He's helped me with stuff. I've helped him with stuff. And he's published a couple of books that are amazing and done some really neat stuff. So now, Stu, I'm going to turn it over to you to do a proper introduction of Alden and why we have him on the Jim and Stu show today.
Yes. Well, I'm going to go back just a little bit, back in time to like 34 years ago.
Wow.
I think it's been that long. Has it been that long? Yeah, close to it. Alden and I met on restriction at the Naval Academy when we were 19 years old. And
is that 1985?
89,
86?
88, 89. Yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah, I think it was 89. So, met on restriction for breaking some rules, probably had something to do with alcohol. And we were just stupid. But anyway, we became friends. And after the academy, we went to SEAL training together. We're in the same BUDS class, graduated together, went through the next training like SQT, and we're at the same SEAL team together, deployed together in the same platoon, and we're in each other's weddings, and we have been friends for a very long time. And when he got out, he was in that process of figuring out what he wanted to do. And I remember going through, like, when we were young guys in the Navy, still thinking about getting out and like what he's going to do. I was going to write a book on fitness, and he was going to invent stuff. He's always writing all these inventions down that he had ideas for, and sure enough, we both pulled it off. And then we've been once again still friends ever since. But anyway, he has some neat things that he's been doing after he sold his fitness company, which was the Perfect Push Up and the Perfect Pull Up. You guys have probably heard about Perfect Fitness, and he had some very popular infomercials that went out. So that was, in fact, I think we had him on a while back ago when we were doing DIY, talking about the television method of marketing.
Yep.
And what that did for him. But anyway, he has something new to show us. It's an app that has everything to do with helping yourself and your team become accountable to each other and achieve goals and set commitments and build a team for if you don't have one. And we wanted to have him on and talk about it because he was also featured in Forbes this last week with this app. So I mean, that's not nothing, Jim, getting featured at Forbes magazine. So that's something. So anyway, let's bring Alden on and let's show that pretty face of his.
Look at him. He's too pretty. He's like Muhammad Ali. He's too pretty.
Yeah,
What's up,
you
my
guys
buddy?
just crack me up. I got to tell you, I'm just sitting here laughing.
But I would do, Jim.
Stu said, and Jim is true.
The coolest thing, though, that Alden has ever done in his life is he spoke on the gym boat.
That's right. I went on the gym boat. We had, and I sang on the gym boat with
yes,
Jim.
you did. That's right. Yeah. Absolutely. We definitely did that.
Well,
so
fellas,
what's up, Alden?
Great to be on your show today. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're absolutely excited to have you. Stu, I'm going to let you run this, and I will just do color commentary.
Okay, sounds great. So, my buddy Alden, how are you, sir?
Hey, bud.
So, was I right about you wanting to be a redneck or not?
I said that everything you said was true. It was right after I had the boiled peanuts.
Yeah. Boiled peanuts on the side of the road where they misspelled the word boiled.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good and stuff. We went to that swimming hole, and you jumped off that tree at like 100 feet, and you decided to dive. I'm like, I am not diving off this.
Yeah, we were bulletproof back then.
Oh my God.
Good times though. Good times. That was fun. But anyway, let's talk about what you're doing now. I know you've been been very much a public speaker, corporate speaker, and you've created this whole team building that is unstoppable. That's the name of it. In fact, why don't you start from there? Let's talk about the books you've written, what they're titled, and then we'll go into how that evolved into this app that you've created.
Okay. So I think to give everybody some context, when you were talking about Perfect Fitness, for 14 years, we had created all kinds of fitness products, lots of failures until we had some successes. And in 2015, I made the decision that it was time to get out of inventory management and move into something that was more interesting to me than just helping people. As I was looking at it, selling to the same people, the same kind of products, and I wanted to start helping them achieve goals. And so I went on this theme after Be Unstoppable, which was really about my first book, Be Unstoppable, and created a company called Be Unstoppable. You can see it at beunstoppable.com, and went on this focus of keynote speaking, coaching, and now creating the software that helps people achieve goals.
Nice.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about the process you went through to actually develop the software, because developing apps and developing software, you didn't just go to Fiverr and hire some dude with English as a fifth language to, make the thing for you in an afternoon. What was the process you went through of doing this, and where is it now?
Well, I'll tell you, the first thing, Jim, was I don't know anything about software. And I was looking at this as, hey, how can I scale my coaching and speaking to help people achieve goals? What really inspires me is watching people do something that they didn't originally think they could do and helping them get unstuck in this mental gymnastics they have of, well, I don't think I can do that, but they really want it, but they don't think they can do it. And they get stuck in that loop. And as I was sitting with a good buddy of mine, John Keggy, who was a software expert, he was actually in the process of climbing Mount Everest. He's sitting at base camp and he's stuck in the Everest tent for a couple of weeks waiting for a window. And he's going just crazy because he's a high energy guy to begin with. And I'm talking to him every day on WhatsApp. And he's like, Alden, I don't know if I can handle this isolation. I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I'm your swim buddy here. Stu is my swim buddy in SEAL training. And swim buddy is nothing more than a SEAL term for the smallest team, 2 people. And it immediately calmed him down. He's like, hey, what if we were swim buddies to a lot of people? How do we help other people be swim buddies? He goes on, by the way, to climb Everest. He wears the Be Unstoppable hat on the summit, puts it on while he's at the summit. Alden Mills, thanks for helping me be unstoppable and getting to the summit. I mean, how cool is that, right?
That's so cool.
Did he sign a release?
It's in my Instagram feed.
Okay.
And from that point, we were like, Alden, I think we can create a software app to help people learn how to team up, how to make a goal, build a goal team, and then create goal commitments so you're accountable to each other, that you can basically take the methodology of what we learned going through SEAL Team and apply it to people who are looking to achieve something that they didn't originally think they could achieve, or something they just really want to achieve. And so that started the process of me swim buddying with somebody who really knew software, who then went through the process of interviewing a whole series of front end, back end, project management, software engineers. We have 9 software experts, and I will put experts because some are engineers, some are designers, that have teamed up to create this software that does an update every 2 weeks. We've got a backlog of things that we're adding to. Ironically, the biggest backlog today drops is our our commitment reporting system for GoalBud, which I am so excited about. So
nice. Is it up on both platforms where you can get apps now? Sweet.
It is. When that Forbes article came out, I think it had come out just the same day on Android. The app came out March 1st, and it's now in its we're in our second full release of updates for it.
Cool.
Nice.
And
And
it's
that,
so cool to see people publishing goals. I can't see what they're doing, but I can just see that people are publishing goals and interacting with their buds, and they're starting to build the habit of creating new commitments that get them to taking daily action. Because, you guys all know. I mean, Jim, we've built things together. Stu, you and I have done lots of missions together. It's all about taking daily action. And then, learning the right actions to take. But the hardest part is just getting up and taking that action.
right.
And if
You
you're
know
doing
what you just said? What you just said is really struck with me about building the habit of taking action.
Yep.
I think that is the biggest accomplishment, for you moving forward in anything that you do is creating that habit. And if this system can help you do that, that's groundbreaking.
Absolutely. Why don't we do this? Let's flash up on the screen some of the screenshots, and you can walk us through it, and then wrap up. You just closed it, Stu. I was gonna. You gotta share it again, and then I'll do it.
Do
I
you
was ready to
you
click.
have it? You have it?
I do not. You need to
Oh,
share that screen again, and then I'll show it. Okay, here we go. So actually, I'm just gonna take up the whole screen. Actually, I don't think it really matters because there we go. Okay, so kind of explain to us what the process is that somebody goes through with the app.
So the first thing you say right here is that this first screen on the left is the home. You got to sign in, and there is a security measure you go through, and we're going to make that better and better. But it is a secure network, and the idea here is that you're building your own private network. So we can't see it unless you were to invite somebody in.
And when you say network, you mean network of people. You're
A
not
network of people. And,
okay.
As the Forbes article pointed out, they view this as a next generation social network that helps. It's the first one designed to help people help each other achieve something.
Okay.
That's the whole idea here. So when you see that term, setting goals just became social, think of this like a next generation social network where the whole focus is we're about helping you achieve a goal and building and bringing people on. So there's 3 key steps, and this is what are called out here. There are the 3 key steps of GoalBud are set the goal. And you'll notice now, if you were to download this app today, it's a free app, by the way. As you set the goal, a little video of me will pop up, and I'll give you some very specific things to help you set a goal that can be measurable. Part 2 is build out your goal team. Now, that's where a lot of people have kind of been left to dry. They think, okay, well, I've written my goal down. I mean, that's a big step in itself if somebody writes a goal down. So we're getting you to get that goal and get it measurable. But then the next piece is like, hey, who are some key goal buds? We call them buds that can go out there and be your support that you'll feel comfortable reporting to, and that they will be keeping you honest. And it's a very simple way of being able to send a note saying, hey, Stu, Jim, I'm asking you to be a bud for me. In our system, the person who makes a goal, we call them goalers. So Alden is making a goaler to launch GoalBud and have 10,000 downloads. And I'm asking the 2 of you to be my buds and helping me do that. You sign up. That's step 2. I'll be your bud. Now I want to know, how often are you going to report to me, Alden? How often are you going to do that? And that's step 3, is that I make commitments, and I am telling you, hey, on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'm going to report to you my progress of what I'm doing, what's working, what's not. And you have the ability to come back to me and say, hey, we haven't heard from you. What's going on? Are you falling off this gravy train of trying to make this happen or what? And it literally becomes a swim buddy type relationship. Now, when the Forbes article published, this make commitments has now just been updated today. And it's a very simple way to pick and schedule your commitments throughout the week. We really just focus 1 week at a time. We're all about getting you to take daily action parsing out your 7 days of, okay, so you want to work on a book? How many words a day are you going to write? What days are you going to report to us and tell us how many words have you written? Give us your commitment, and I'm going to get notifications on how Stu's next book's coming, because he's like, hey, man, I just logged 1,500 words in the last 3 days. And that gives me an opportunity to, tell you, hey, that's awesome, keep going. Or like, wait a minute, you're 1,500 words behind. You said you do 1,500 words a day. What's going on? You need to change something. So, I get all animated about this, because if you really break all goals down, it is about these 3 key steps: making the goal, building the team, and creating the commitments that you then report on. And so I'll stop for a moment.
So let me ask you a question. What if you have no friends? Does this app help you find kind strangers that will, help you out? I'm being serious.
Yeah, no, that's a key piece. So that's a chicken or the egg
I understand.
question on that. And that is going to be a future release. And the future release would go out where you could be like, click these social networks and be able to post, I'm looking for a bud who could help me. Once we start getting enough buds, we'll get people that are qualified buds and saying, hey, I've helped a lot of people write a book. I'm here. I can help you. Click on me. And that way you start to get certified as a bud for different areas and different areas that you can help. At the moment, the system requires you to proactively go find somebody to help you.
Now, could you, we're just blue skying, because now you got me thinking, and I've developed a few pieces of software in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Could you also set up a thing where people could be like buds coaches,
Yes.
and they could get paid, and then you could have them pay through the app, and you could take a little something off the top for being the kind person you are for providing the platform?
We actually have that in the backlog list.
Yeah.
That is a key piece, that you'd have these certified coach buds, as well as buds that are there to, have there are 2 different levels: a coach bud and a certified bud that says, hey, I've helped X number of people and I love being a bud.
You should call them buds instructors.
I was just gonna say you could do that, because then you see some guy that's
David
like,
said that.
Hilarious.
350.
David just said that. David on our comment section just said, I had to give you credit on that one. I did not think of that.
David, I like that feedback. That is awesome.
Yeah, but the problem is then you're going to have guys like 350 with Cheetos stains on their lips, saying, hey, I'm a certified buds instructor, and you're going to have some guys that in t-shirts and bullhorns that might take umbrage with that. Just saying, there's a double-edged sword.
It's lowercase UDS.
Yes. Fair. It's not an acronym. So when you just explained that a little bit, I had a great idea, because a big part of my business is online coaching.
Yes.
And I do it by making a workout a week, or a week's worth of workouts per person on the program. Jim's been on it for almost a decade now. And so I just email them these workouts that, with their feedback they give me. I send them a week's worth of workouts with what their schedule looks like, help them fit it into their schedule and all of that. What do you think about being able to use this app with that group of people that I have online, being their coach? How would you think that would look like?
So there's 2 things. Right now, you can use the app exactly the way you want, exactly what you're talking about. One of the key things we thought about with this is, number 1, you can use it just that way. So you could say, Jim, you're going to download the GoalBud app. You're going to make a goal, and yours is to do, Jim wants to do a 6-month goal of improving his fitness for A, B, and C things. You're going to be his bud.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you got to
he's
check in
gonna
every day.
report. He's going to report to you, and you're going to send him the workouts that he's going to do.
Right.
One of the future releases is we're going to send you the source code. I'm not going to get the words right, but you could then take Goldbud and reskin it for your workouts and be like, hey, we're back end is powered by Goldbud, but this is Heroes of Tomorrow, and it's like an Intel inside. It's like a Amazon Web Service, but it's for Stu.
Right.
I got you.
And let me, as the other end user, okay. Yeah. One of the ways that Stu kind of hot wires this now with text is the people who are in his highest level, he sends out a picture and a thing every morning through text. And I assume it's group text. You're not just sending it to me. I mean, if it's just to me, I'm like, hey, I appreciate that. But I'm assuming it's going to more than one person.
It goes to everybody, yes.
So, but yet the only kind of feedback that I can give is really just, thumbs up, which indicates I'm doing something. But if there was something that was programmed in there like Monday through Friday, I got to check in. I got my workout done. One thing that went great, I got all my pull-ups in, or, I did something. Creating a more meaningful feedback loop in an existing coaching program, I think would be tremendous right now for anybody who's running a coaching program or wants to. And you could do it either based on like what Stu's doing 6 months, or like when we're doing our sprints for writing a book, like in the one that we're going to start at the towards the end of April, that's going to go for 2 weeks. We could create one for a specific outcome with daily stuff, and you check in. Hey, I got my chapter done. I got my bio done. I got all that stuff done. Would be pretty cool.
Jim, how do you describe that? I was getting my notebook out because you guys brought up some great points. I want to make sure I don't forget them. How do you describe that right there?
I just did describe it. What are you talking about, man? What you talking about, Willis? What do you mean?
What would we call that? What you just brought up?
It's to me, like, the word I used was a feedback loop. Was a daily feedback loop with your coach.
So
it's
that's
an accountability loop.
You can do that now. You can give a feedback, but it sounded like you wanted something that was more like they're entering into a 6-month focused plan, and by month 1, you need to have this done, this done, and this done.
Yes. So it could be either it's a specific set of actions that we know if the actions are taken, it's going to accomplish the result. So in the case of like Stu's thing, you can't say, okay, I'm going to lose 20 pounds in 6 months. The only thing you can really commit to is I'm going to take these actions every day. And I know if I take these actions every day, I'm going to produce a result that is going to be pleasing, as opposed to so that's like a commitment. That's a commitment goal as opposed to a results goal. Because I don't know. It's like when I told Stu, hey, I want to be able to do 30 pull-ups in a row. And he's like, well, good luck there, Tubby. You're going to have to lose some weight. You're going to have to do some other things. And then, no, but what I'm saying is you don't know when that goal is going to get reached. I know that if I commit to this course of action, at some point, my tubby butt will get my chin over the bar 30 times. And I did that. Okay. Now, the other type of goal is a definite outcome goal. Like I'm going to start on Monday, and by a week from Friday, my book is going to be done and published on Amazon. So in order to do that, I know on Monday, I got to define my avatar. Number 2, Tuesday, I got to write my intro. I got to do this. I got to do that. And so it's a definitive daily got to get it done thing so that by a deadline, a specific result has been reached. To me, that would be like a definitive goal. Maybe that might not be the right word, but that's so then the coach would be able to drop in that. So it's like, I give you a pre-done goal buddy goal thing. And what you got to do is just show up every day, do the thing, and check in to say that you did it. And either the coach, Stu, or coach's assistant, or your goal buds, or whoever are going to hold you accountable to that every day because you got to do this every single day. So those are the two types.
You were talking about a preset program for a definitive goal. In your case, the example was, okay, you want to book on Amazon in 14 days? You can sign up right now. You can pick this goal from the menu. I want you to get some buds. I'll be your bud too. And you got to report in every day on what needs to get done. So
on what you did.
On what you did. For Stu, okay, you want to get to 30 pull-ups, Jim? This is the 30 pull-up program. And don't go past these other commitments until you've done the first set of these commitments, right? Because like that case, you don't know when you're going to hit 30 pull-ups. You may be in a loop for the first month of his training because you got to lose 30 pounds to get to the first 15 pull-ups. And you can't go past that until you have succeeded at that smaller goal of getting to the 15 pull-ups before you get to the 18 and then the 20, right?
Yeah,
but goal. In both cases, I'm hearing preset. You want the ability as a coach, which all you are, as a preset series of commitments and actions that you can get people to follow and they've got to report on.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. I see the difference being more of a timeline versus a performance goal.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So in fact, a lot of times I will tell young people in my program, like, don't set an arbitrary timeline for when you join the military. Set a performance starting line for when you join. Right. Yeah. So it's two different, it's still a goal. It's just one doesn't have a timeline to it.
I like that, Stu.
Right.
Yeah.
And also what Stu, the kinds of workouts, Stu can give 3 different people the exact same workout depending on their fitness level, and they're going to get completely different results from that when he's saying, do max this or, all those kinds of things. So it's, max for Timmy might be 3, max for Harry might be 10, and max for Jim might be 20. Yeah. It just, so there's a lot that goes into it, but having a preset also with Stu's periodization stuff, he could have, 12 weeks in 4 different 12-week things that people are going through. Correct. And then also could have 12 different things that people, 4 12-week things with 3 different fitness levels. And so that would make it so he knows what track somebody's on, and can really know at a glance where they are. But the biggest thing with any of those is knowing exactly what you're supposed to be doing today.
Yep.
And having a feedback mechanism of I did it or I didn't do it, and having the people that you hold in enough esteem that if you don't do it and they ask you what's going on, you're going to feel like an asshat for not having gotten it done. Because if you don't have those things in it, half the time when I work out, it's because I don't want to disappoint Stu.
Correct. He's your swim buddy.
Right. So what I'm saying is all of those elements have to be present. But you have it built in there. But if you have some preset stuff that you can just load it right in, it's going to make it easier for the coach to track, and it's going to make it easier for the goaler to be able to follow along and know exactly where they're supposed to be.
And from that perspective, we want to make the system flexible enough so Stu can customize or Jim can customize your preset programs.
Right.
What you need to follow. You guys have the secret sauce on how to get to 30 pull-ups or how to get that book on Amazon in 14 days.
Right.
I'm going to create the back-end platform that can easily allow you to customize that.
Right. And you're doing it on something that everybody has in their possession now, a phone. So it also would force the coach to be able to communicate it in a way. So it's like it's not the whole coaching program, it's the accountability part of the coaching program built into it. So it's not like you're going to have paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs in that thing. You're going to have a couple of lines. So it works with like, I have like in the membership site, I have all the modules that build day by day by day to take them through the Write Your Book program.
Yep.
On the phone, it's basically, hey, did you do day one? That's, define your avatar and come up with the title of your book.
Right.
It's a yes or no. It's no excuses. It's a yes or no. And if it's a no,
don't go past that step, and you're going to have to be reloaded and keep going.
So another thing that you could do is, I've seen this with accountability groups, and it's fun, but you could build in a non-cancelable negative consequence. So what now? Go with me here. All right. Now I'm not gonna mention
Wet and sandy, Jim.
Right. But financially is the easiest way. So whatever your political persuasion is, you need to pick the opposite. Okay. The person that is evil and you hate. And Alden gets your Amex number, and if you don't do it, if you fall more than 24 hours behind, you have to make a political donation of a serious amount of money, like $300, $400, $500 to the person that you just absolutely hate. And it will automatically post on every social media channel that you have that you did donate to that person. Something along those lines that would be like, and I can't not do it. I mean, I can't not do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what, you build in that negative consequence. I'm just using that as an example, but I've seen that used effectively.
Great one.
That is going to get some people to do some stuff. Not, hey, you have to donate $100 to your favorite charity. You got to donate $500 to the thing that you hate the most.
Yeah.
So
and
anyway,
then get on their email list.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So just saying.
I like it. I like it.
That's funny.
We could put the wheel of misfortune on there.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny at the end of the day if they don't do it? Like, the
wheel's
going to spin for you.
Yep.
And it lands here, and your buds are going to make sure you have to knock out the wheel of misfortune.
That's right. And another thing you could throw in there would be to notify your buddies that they don't have to check. Your buddies are going to be notified that you didn't do what you said you were going to do. I mean, like, they're going to get alerts on your phone at 2 in the morning. And so it's going to wake them up and piss their spouse off. Their dog's going to start barking and they think somebody's breaking into the house.
So the notification is already built into it.
Okay.
That it does get triggered after a certain amount of time if the goaler hasn't reported on what they're doing.
Nice.
Now, we're not nearly as creative yet, Jim, on the
there you
piece
go.
you're talking about. Where the bud's phone automatically goes into siren mode at 2 o'clock in the morning. Woo!
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool, man. You know what I love about it the most is it is a handy tool to help people build the habit of moving towards that goal, because that's where we all stumble. We fall out of the habit of getting things done, every single day, especially a long-term goal when you can put off a day.
Oh yeah.
Because and then next thing you know, you get in the habit of putting off days.
Right.
So it you can get into this loop of building bad habits, whereas this one is the tool that keeps you honest with your good habit.
Exactly.
I mean, guys, I'm sure you've experienced this, but everybody I've coached, the large majority of the people I've coached, they've really just needed me to hold them accountable. They can do it.
Sure.
I was no great athlete. I was no great writer. I was no great inventor. I just got up every day and kept trying. And you ended up finding some people along the way that became your swim buddies that said, hey, keep going when you felt like you didn't want to keep going. And that's what I really want GoldBud to be. And if you think about, okay, how could you make this little dent in our universe? You need to get people to learn how to partner up and hold each other accountable. One of the biggest challenges after all this is going to be after they accomplish a goal, they're going to be, and Stu, I know, and Jim, you've seen it with the book writing. They're like, oh my God, I did it. Now what am I going to do?
Right.
Now you got to dream up a bigger goal.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens, right? They get the confidence to go, oh, I'm actually kind of a badass. I didn't realize I could do that. And then I'm going to do some more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the buds who watch the goaler go, well, wait a second. If he can do it or she can do it, I want to do it too.
Yes.
My advice is if you have a goal to write a book, also have a secondary goal attached to that you are going to have somebody help you sell the book.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole different goal.
That's a whole different animal. You got to learn marketing and
Yep.
get that thing out there and get the most eyeballs on it. So
Absolutely. The one thing I would say, and this isn't splitting hairs, but it's like grades of accountability. Ultimately, we need to be accountable to ourselves. That's the most powerful thing. The next most powerful thing is feeling accountable to someone else. And then the lowest denominator is someone trying to hold us accountable. Like I want somebody to yell at me. And you want to matriculate through that as fast as you can. But I think if you're choosing goal buddies, you shouldn't be choosing somebody that, this person's good because I know they're going to yell at me. Well, I've been yelled at. It's like Brad Pitt said in Inglourious Bastards. Ass chewing only lasts for an hour. Fun lasts all day. My point is that you got to get to the point where you have people that you want to be accountable to, not using the person as a crutch, like as a substitute for your kindergarten teacher. That's not what's going to make this work. You have to want the people that that are holding you accountable. You want to be accountable to them, because they're going to ditch you after a while if you keep not doing what you're supposed to do. So there's that whole pain of disconnect and losing your friends, but you also don't want to put them in a situation where you're mad at them because they're yelling at you because you asked them to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, my experience, and I'm just going back to all my toughest times where failure was quite clearly a possible outcome. I mean, good God, I failed so many different times, but I always found strength in the people I cared about the most and not wanting to let them down.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
Those are the buds you're after.
Yes.
The ones that you're like, I can't let this person down. And even I put myself sometimes in the back seat. I'm like, I don't care about my body. I am just not going to star in this movie of telling my friends or family I quit. I'm just not doing it. I can't. I don't care how painful this moment is. And I found a lot of strength there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But that is you just described the absolute most powerful aspect of wanting to be accountable to somebody else. And it's the short-term sugar rush that keeps you rolling in a bad time. If you're not going to do it for yourself, then do it for the people that you care about.
Yeah, and that's where I think people really lose steam on a goal, which is one of the unique things about Goal Bud. I mean, it's in our name. It's all about the bud and getting the right buds that you don't want to let down. Like you, Jim. I mean, when I first met you, you had just started out with Stu's programs. And you're like, yeah, if it weren't for Stu, I wouldn't be where I am today. And you didn't want to let him down. I mean, your transformation was unbelievable. How much weight did you lose? What did you end up doing? I mean, you had a heart condition. You went to knocking out 20 pull-ups in a row. I mean, and that all happened in part. Nothing had happened before you had met Stu. You'd gotten to that point on your own of fat.
I got to a certain level, but I knew that I needed to get to the next level. And that was when Stu found me, or I found him. Says only the motivated find us. That's his thing.
And then you didn't want to let Stu down after a while.
Correct. Absolutely.
Yep.
So I think this is great. I would encourage everybody, you can go to your favorite app store and download GoalBud.
We want to hear from you. We want to help you get these goals going.
Hey, Jim and I.
Today, if you don't have a goal bud, you can put me down as your goal bud. You can find me right out there and put me down. or
That's
put
cool,
Stu
man.
or Jim down.
Yeah, Jim and I are gonna. He doesn't know this yet, but we're gonna try it out with our workouts and just see how it works. Because I'd like to test it out on Jim
Yeah,
before I open it up to the masses
awesome.
and see how that works. And yeah, might it'd be fun. I look forward to it.
That'd be fantastic, and we want to hear about it and know that we got this backlog of things. And I will definitely make it a priority to hear your feedback on how we can improve it every 2 weeks. But I'm really excited. It's a scalable platform that can handle hundreds of thousands of folks.
Nice.
Awesome. That's very cool. And that's important. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So again, tell them where to go and how to get it.
GoldBud, go in your favorite app store, Android, Apple, free app, GoldBud.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, I think that was the Jim and Stu show and the podcast. So whatever you plan for the podcast, Stu, we're set for next week, brother.
Nice.
So
Hey,
we're good.
Hey, Alden, before you leave, you know what I found the other day?
What's that?
A box of Old Navy stuff, right?
Yeah,
And I found
oh, no way. What do you got in there?
whole bunch of these. Yeah, I use them all the time. Yeah,
Dude.
I found like 6 of them.
And what you need to do is
you want one? I'll send it to you.
Parachute cord and put it around your neck like we'd walk around the submarine with.
You know what I also found?
You find your diploma?
I did. I've been looking for this thing forever.
Oh my God,
My SQT.
That's a very important piece of document right there. Hold that right up.
Yep, right there. See that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Basic Underwater Demolition School.
You should put that in a plastic protector or something, Stu.
It's just in a manila envelope.
Wow.
Just
so
found
Stu, what you need, I mean, we could do a whole nother show on this. I don't think people really appreciate, even in SEAL team, the Smith and Mills swim buddies were unique to be able to go to buds, go to the same team, be in the same platoon.
So fun.
We underwater at exactly the same time on the submarines, but we also went through POW school, SEER school. We did mini sub school. We did Mark 15 school. We did the long range over the horizon school. Did STT together. We were the Smith and Mills show.
That's right.
We went on vacation together, and that's when I wanted to become a redneck.
Good times.
And let me tell you, don't ever play the radio game in northern Florida or across the Georgia line with Stu. You know how the radio game works, Jim?
I don't, but if it has to do with swamps and rednecks and nothing with deliverance, right?
He pushes the scan button on the radio and he goes, "Come on, Millsy, let's play the radio game. First one to get the song, the name of the song, wins $5." I'm like, all right. And so he's driving and he pushed scan. And guess what? Radio stations are right in the Georgia-Florida line.
Oh, it's all country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd be like, "George Strait, got the tape." Hank Williams got the tape. And I couldn't even get anything out. I lost hundreds of dollars. And I'm like, done. I'm stopping this game.
That's funny.
That's a good time. Good time.
Well, good. I'm going to be prepared. When Stu comes down to visit again, I'm not playing the radio game. So.
No.
Awesome.
Sucker is born every day with him. Got me.
Awesome.
But I did introduce you to Roadside Bull Peanuts.
Oh, nothing like that.
There
yes,
you go.
You did. And swimming in the Swanee River.
Suwannee.
Yep, Suwannee.
There you
That's
go.
where I grew up, in Suwannee County.
There you go.
So,
That's awesome. All right, guys. Great job. Appreciate you, Alden. Everybody go download the app. Use it. Get your goals done.
Get after it. We're here to help you. We want to see you succeed.
Awesome. All right. We appreciate you. And everybody have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, boys.